Welcome. I had problem with my camera. Suddenly it stopped working. So you don't have to see me today. I don't know what the problem is. Happy to see so many people here. Which ones are here? Team Horizons, stating the obvious, Jens, and so on. It's been a while since I made a live stream. A couple of months or something, I don't remember. Hope you're all well. I haven't checked if my sound is working. Is the sound okay? Sound okay. Okay, thank you. Wait a second, I will make one more try on the camera. No, the camera is dead, so today I have prepared some short videos on today's theme, that one about the quality on flat Earth. Now in December I made this type of content for 5 years, and I think it's hard to find new material. But we will have a look at some, and later on I will talk a bit about me, about the channel, and so on. Timo, I didn't see your comment. Yes, it was a typo. Okay, let's have a quick look on the first videos. This is from a collection on TikTok. As usual, I have collected them on Banjo's channel. If I'm not focused, I'm once again trying to get the camera to work, but I will give up. No, I've given up. Okay, over to the video.
Alright, this video is for the spiritual people that still believe it's a globe. Okay, I was an atheist for 32 years.
And here we have a typical misunderstanding about atheism. It's have nothing to do with science or the shape of the world. Do this fool believes that most globers are atheists? In fact, I think most Christians know that we live on a globe.
And the main reason for that is the globe Earth. I fully believed in this space and the theories and physics and all this, that we're taught in school. And
so, if you go to school and believe what you were taught by the teachers, you will be an atheist. They always or often blame the school system, what we are educated in school. I think, is he from US? I think they have a religion also in as a subject in schools in US. I'm not sure, but I believe so.
it wasn't until January of this year when I met my twin flame that I finally woke up to spirituality.
Who did he meet? Twin Flame? Don't know who that is.
And a few months later, after I woke up spiritually, I was being fed flat earth videos on my feed, and I was getting fed up with seeing them. I'd scroll past them quickly, and I wouldn't give them the time of day to even hear it out. I just still believed it was a globe. So I know it's possible to be spiritual and still think it's a globe, but that's just not reality. So after I became really annoyed with seeing flat earth videos on my feed, I decided to go and prove them wrong.
And how did he try that? This will be interesting.
And I've discovered that they weren't wrong this whole time. And now I fully understand the earth is flat. And if you're spiritual, you should realize that that makes a lot more sense than the globe model. And
So he believes that when he did find Jesus, then he also find the truth about the globe we live on. Or he don't believe we're on a globe.
anyway, with the constellations being what they are, constant stellations. They've
But they are not constant. So no.
never moved in the thousands of years of history that we have.
Wrong. For instance, when the pyramid was built, the Northern Star wasn't the same as today.
Not once. There's ancient structures built specifically showing that they understood where the constellations and the stars are all the time. It's a repeating cycle. And once people understand the Earth is flat and there's a dome holding in the atmosphere, there's no way you can be an atheist, because that didn't happen by random chance.
So, you can't be a flat earther and a Christian. Okay, how about the Jesuits that's running the Everest observatory in Arizona? The Pope have an observatory on his summer residence. But of course they are not Christians.
That is evidence of a creator right there. And that is exactly why we need to spread awareness to this, because if everybody understands the Earth is flat, there'll be no atheists, there'll be a lot more love in the world, there'll be less hate, and we can work towards a better future for everybody.
No hate. Have you visited Nathan Oakley's dumpster fire sometime? Probably not.
And for those who aren't necessarily spiritual, but you believe in the Bible or the Quran or many other books, you'll notice that in the Bible and the Quran specifically, it mentions the flat earth. The Bible mentions a firmament and the earth taking shape like clay under a seal. The Quran mentions the earth taking shape like a carpet stretched out. We've been told this and shown this in many pictures throughout all of ancient civilizations that depict a flat earth with a dome over it.
So they are more trustworthy. People from thousands of years ago that didn't know about North and South America, they didn't know about Antarctica, they didn't know that Australia existed, and so on. They are more trustworthy regarding the shape of the Earth than scientists of today. Okay, I get
It's been
it.
since NASA that we've all decided there's a globe.
No, NASA was formed, I believe, in 1958 or something. They haven't decided that we live on a globe.
And we're a meaningless speck of dust in outer space, and we weren't put here for a purpose.
I don't feel meaningless. Perhaps you do. I don't.
But we were. We were created for a reason.
And what was that reason?
All I'm asking for is for you to go and do the research yourself.
And obviously you haven't done any research at all beside reading the Bible and misrepresent the Bible according to most Christians.
Don't just trust me. Don't just trust the government. Trust yourself. Trust.
And obviously you have studied at YouTube or TikTok University. So you made your studies.
Your own senses. That's all I want to say. And I really hope you have a great day. Much love.
Oh dear, this annoying person. This will be a short one.
Yo, somebody in my town has put a flat earth billboard up. A flat earth billboard on the side of the highway.
I looked this up. This is a small company that's are renting out places on this type of billboards. So is this some kind of proof for a flat earth or proof for a very stupid market campaign by the company renting out those places? But a funny thing about this, if you look at the other billboards, nobody have rented it.
For real? No way, dude. The earth is flat, so is this sign. That's why it works.
I don't see it working. Obviously, the business is not great.
On the side of the highway, dude, in my town.
And?
Look, I'm not responsible for this. That's why it's so freaking cool.
No, that's why it's so stupid. Oh dear.
Yeah, somebody put up a flat earth billboard. What are the odds? Dude, I had to go on this journey. Look at this. Flat earth billboard on the side of the highway. I had to go on this journey. I thought I saw it. I wasn't sure. On my way home from work the other day, I'm riding with my boss, and he's like, did that sign just say what I thought it said? And I was like, I think so, bro. So I made it a point. Rain or shine, I was going to come and see the flat earth billboard on the side of the highway. Research flat earth, y'all. We got people.
So go around town and look at billboards. Then you do your own research.
People driving by, knowing that the earth is flat now.
Oh. So if I pass a billboard with McDonald's commercial, I have to eat at McDonald's.
I wonder if it'll wake some people up.
No. I think majority of people seeing that sign is laughing, and obviously no companies is interested on buying places or renting places for advertisement on that billboard.
Hopefully, they should have put a website in there to show you where you can find good information on it. Maybe a link to my page or something.
The easiest observation to disprove flat Earth, which covered the fact that if you view planes in the sky, either just after sunset or just before sunrise, you can often see the sun reflecting off the underside of the plane.
First of all, it's the same fool. This is from a great video by McKeegan. He made a valid point, pointed out something that's impossible on a flat Earth. But this fool, who loves silly signs by the road, thinks he can debunk it.
And I explain how that can only happen if the light is coming up from below the plane's horizontal, which would prove that the sun is below the plane's horizontal and thus a globe, rather than a flat Earth where the sun would be above the plane.
And that's correct. And here we have his proofs that McKeegan is wrong.
How to debunk this? Okay, did you know that the sun is actually setting behind this house here? It's far off that way. But how is the light on the front of the house if the sun is setting far behind it? Well, the sun is actually reflecting off of these windows and coming back to the front of this house. And if you'll notice, the shadow is downward, meaning that the sun, although it's setting, is still above.
Have you...
Oh dear, that one was really stupid. What is then reflecting the sunlight on the planes? A big mirror?
Wondered why, when you're looking at a sunset or a sunrise, you can stare at the sun without it burning your retinas out. But when it's midday, you would do that, it would burn them out. That's because the sun is not 93 million miles away, like they say.
Oh dear.
If it was, it wouldn't matter if it's at the horizon or right above you. It'd still be 93 million miles away, and it would burn your retinas out both times. But because the sun is actually a local object, and it's physically moving away from you, the light is attenuating, and it's getting duller. Simple as that. It's just moving away from you, and it's not as bright as it is when it's right above you. That's it. That's all it is.
He don't understand that when the sun is low, the light have to travel through more of the atmosphere than it's when it's straight up. And that's also the explanation why it's get red and so on around the sun when it's going down.
Most of the time it appears like it's getting smaller for the same reason. It's moving.
It's not getting smaller. You can have a sun filter on a camera, take images on the sun noon, and then when it goes down at night, and then you measure it, you will see that it's not getting smaller, which it would be on a flat Earth.
Out of your perspective range. See that? If it was 93 million miles away, that would be burning your retinas out still. So the sun is local, Earth is flat.
And where is the sun going in now, sunshine?
Deal with it.
Now, I really hope you're not a 10-year-old boy that is innocent and doesn't know these stuff, right? So you're the same guy that, or Paul, that asked why we can't see Mount Everest from England. It's like, did you really Mount Everest, England?
So he will try to use the fact that you don't see Mount Everest from England as some kind of proof for a flat Earth.
4,600 miles. Do you really expect to see through 4,600 miles of atmosphere? Forget the curve. Atmosphere. Like, I completely understand. I don't remember school teaching me about atmosphere. It's like, it's a little common sense, but not until I got into flat Earth, I started to pay attention to this. So the more atmosphere there is, the less likely light will be able to bounce off mountains to get to you. And that's why sometimes it appears that there is no mountain until Mount Canada is lit from behind from the sun. And the sun, according to the globe model, moves as well as the flat Earth model. We have different explanations to why the globe Earth says it's tilting, it's moving in its sequence, you know, going from equinox to equinox. So the sun travels through the skies. Not always does it set behind these mountains. I hope you learned something new today.
All I learned by this is that this is one more flat earther that's using the same arguments as all of them. Oh dear. This is, according to me, the quality of flat earth today. It's the Bible, it's the same old nonsense as every time. I will skip the rest of this nonsense. I have got some questions about me. I'm quite private. I don't speak so much about me. I have got questions regarding my campaign about Ukraine and so on, suddenly I stopped talking about the drones to Ukraine. The reason to that was as an officer in the armed forces of Sweden, it's a bit sensible. Okay, it's I wasn't allowed to go to Ukraine anymore, and I received some threats about it, and I was advised to don't be so verbal about it on YouTube and so on. So I have kept on working with getting drones and raising money for four-wheel vehicles and so on that are sent to Ukraine. I'm not delivering anymore to there, and you probably noticed that I haven't been away for a while. I've been at home all the time, and that's because I nowadays I changed my position in the military. Before I was part-time employed. I combined my military work with my work as a photographer and filmmaker, but I changed position, and today I'm working full-time for the armed forces, but I'm not on ships anymore. I'm working with other things. One of them is evaluation testing of different systems. So I'm based where I live instead. So I'm still out at the sea, but not on bigger boats, and I'm trying out new things. That's one of my work, and I do some other stuff that I can't talk about. What you see on the screen now is what I do when I don't do videos about flurfs. I keep on making knives, and I started making leatherwork. I've showed some of this on Discord, and what you see popping up sometimes is the one forcing me to exercise, and that's my Siberian Husky. His name is Ture, and he's 5 years old, and now it started snowing here, and he loves it. He loves snow. So yes, Timo, I make knives. My last one is this one on the screen. I made it yesterday evening. It was a chip carving knife I made for a friend that's starting with that hobby, so I made a knife for her. So, but I think the leatherwork is also funny, so I combined knives and leatherwork. So, I have also quite closely followed wait a moment, I will change the topic. So nowadays the only thing I do at sea is driving those. This is my vehicle at work. Quite nice one. Have 2 V8 engines and a top speed over 40 knots. This is the type we have sent. I think now we have sent 15 of those to Ukraine. They can transport a platoon, about 18 fully armed soldiers. They are armed, not with heavy things, so it's very fun to drive. And I was a part of the training of Ukrainian staff, Ukrainian militaries today are using them in the war. Okay, next subject. Let's see. I think the final experiment is the final nail in the coffin for flat earthers, because before, most flat earthers tried to fool their audience that you were not allowed to visit Antarctica, and one of the reasons for that was that then you would see that there are no 24-hour sun. But instead, we have today a war since Ray Yeren and Witsit agreed to go to Antarctica. Many flat earthers today say that they are shills, they have never been flat earthers, and so on. One of them is Flat Earth Banyo. Nathan Oakley is also on that line, and so on. And many have taken this position. I will show a short part from Phuket World.
Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Well, with just over a month and a half to go now before a bunch of strangers head off to Antarctica on a blind date to snuggle up in tents together and conduct what is being touted as the final experiment, let's see if the participants are actually willing and able to conduct some actual scientific observations while they are at it.
Oh dear. So what is his opinion?
And further validate their assumption that seeing the sun do a circle around you for 24 hours or more in Antarctica will be proof that you're on the underside of a globe compared to the North Pole. Now, first of all, let's be clear that I fundamentally disagree with the premise of this false dichotomy that's presented here, claiming that the flat Earth participants follow a map that is an azimuthal equidistant North Pole projection of the Earth, to claim that this is a flat Earth model.
So this is the classic that many take, that they don't agree with Gleason's map, but they have no alternative. So they are turning against their own stories that they told for years. The Gleason's map is the flat Earth map, or it's close to the correct flat Earth map. But now they have dropped the map to try to convince people that the 24-hour sun in Antarctica is possible. But they stick to this with the how the sun moves, or have they changed that, or is the sun even further away from us in the north in summer in Antarctica? Because if it's going around on a small local sun, it would be a very big difference between the position of the sun in the summer in the northern part of the world and the winter. And on a small local sun would be very small, for instance, in the winter time here in the north, if the sun was circling around Antarctica, further away than Antarctica.
So this whole thing is a false dichotomy.
And that one they love.
And of course, if you use this azimuthal equidistant map projection that creates an ice ring out of Antarctica, then if you do see a sun in Antarctica going around you, it would appear to be impossible if people are claiming that this azimuthal equidistant map projection is some kind of flat Earth model.
Many flat earthers do, and most of them have done so. So he is moving the goalposts.
So, right from the get-go, these guys would appear to have created something in which they would appear to win an argument that they created for themselves.
But we haven't created it. If you look at, for instance, Eric Debate's 200 proofs, read that. It have been some kind of Bible for flat earthers. And look at Flat Earth Bunny selling the Gleason's map as posters on t-shirts and so on. Nobody have protested against that map before. Suddenly, it's not the correct one.
Not an argument that was put to them by flat earthers themselves.
Once again, he's wrong. Most flat earthers have waved with the Gleason's map and told their audiences, this is how the world looks. This is the flat earth.
Nevertheless, if they are going to Antarctica and they're going to observe the sun, that's great. Let's get it on record, and let's do some other experiments along the way, if you like, to further validate the claim that you're on this spinning globe Earth.
But that's not the purpose with the trip. It's to see if the sun is behaving as it would do on a globe or on the flat Earth.
Now, I've already suggested to Will Duffy, the organiser, that they could do some curvature measurement experiments. Again, if there was going to be a final experiment that would...
Measuring the curvature. That have been done by a Greek thousands years ago with wells and sticks and so on. It's have been done, so why go to Antarctica to do that type of experiments?
Prove the globe or disprove the flat earth or vice versa, then what you need is a measurement of curvature.
And you, Phuket World, needs an explanation about how the sun works on a flat earth if you see it 24 hours per day in wintertime on Antarctica.
But I would say that not one single participant that is going along here on the globe Earth side, that is willing to do such an experiment. So let's see if they're willing to do an experiment that involves looking at the sun. Now, just briefly, before we look at the experiment, let's look at why they would assume that if you pretend that this azimuthal equidistant map projection centered on the North Pole is a flat Earth model, it would be devastating for the flat Earth to see a 24-hour sun circling around you in Antarctica, over here down at the bottom of South America. So if I just put in a representation of the sun doing its circle around Antarctica, where there'll be, and the orange circle there representing the sun, of course this just goes off the map here. So this would appear to debunk the flat Earth if you're referring to this azimuthal equidistant map as a flat Earth model.
And what is Phuket World's model? Where is his map? This, I think, flat Earth gets more and more silly. I don't know how many years Phuket have been a flat earthers, but they spent a lot of time thinking about the shape of the Earth. So, what model do he believe in?
And this is, of course, what was presented to us many years ago as a way of perceiving the Earth as level rather than being a globe. But really, it's just a map projection that shows that all maps end up being distorted.
And why is maps distorted? He said it himself that it's a map projection. It's a map projection of a globe. All maps are projections of a globe.
So what if it wasn't like that, but the map projection that we were presented with for Flat Earth was like this, putting Antarctica in the middle?
This is pure nonsense. You can make map projections from the South Pole too. And it can be useful if you understand anything about maps, because a Mercator map is not a great close to the poles. This type of projection is very correct close to the poles, but closer to the equator they are pointless. They are heavily distorted.
Of the flat Earth and saying this is how it works, and then you put a sun going around Antarctica like that, and this would appear to fit. So,
but I'm coming back to the base problem with his arguments. It's not, as he called us, the Globers that presented the Gleason's map as the flat Earth model. It's flat earthers. Oh dear.
So a trip to Antarctica in this case wouldn't prove anything.
Yes, it would.
All they've done is taken a particular map projection and said, that's your flat Earth model, and we're going to disprove your flat Earth model because we're going to see the sun in Antarctica for 24 hours.
I haven't looked into it, but I'm quite sure if I look at his old videos, I will find him using the Gleason's map.
But if this was our map, this would work fine, and they'd have to be making a trip to the North Pole to make the observation instead. So that should help you understand why this is a false dichotomy to start with, because they've just taken a map projection and assumed it as a model. If this was assumed to be the flat Earth model, then there would be no contest down in Antarctica, would it?
The problem with that reasoning is that north of the Arctic Circle, there are people living. You have towns. You have people seeing it. Why flat earthers have used Antarctica as argument is because nobody lives there and not so many people have visited it. So that it was suitable for flat earthers to and point to the Antarctic Treaty and so on. But now when they had the opportunity to go there, all flat earth went damage control mode. No, we don't have claims about the map. No, the Gleason's map, it's not the flat earth map, and so on. And rest of them that stick to the Gleason's map is trying to call Jared and Witzit gets it for shills and so on, even before they are going to Antarctica, because they know Banjo, for instance, knows that they will see a 24-hour sun, and he have no explanation for it. So instead of making up a new model, a new map, he's trying to convince people that Jaren and Witzit gets it will lie when they get back.
So my suggestion is to basically observe sunspots, if possible, while on this trip to Antarctica. And it's based on something that I observed myself when comparing sunspots seen in Phuket near the equator, and then seeing what happens to sunspots when the sun is tracked throughout the day in the UK. So you can see here the video that I took. This is about, I can't remember, about 8 years ago, I think, where you can see at the top of the sun there, you've got these sunspots. This was filmed in Phuket. So I filmed from the morning, and all morning as the sun came to its zenith. Now it's almost overhead in Phuket, but not quite. But you can see that over several hours in the morning, the sunspots remain pretty much in the same place on the sun's surface. They're just at the top there at about a kind of 1 o'clock position.
So where is he going with this? This will be interesting.
All right. And then after midday, after the sun had gone overhead, I turned around and I faced the direction that the sun was going off in, and you can see now that we have this flip where those sunspots that were at the top are now on the bottom. Okay, so now it's 12:45, the sun's going away into the west, and those sunspots are on the bottom. All right, so I carried on filming just using it's a welding glass filter. So if there are people going to do these experiments in Antarctica observing the sun, they should have much better equipment than me, and hopefully they should be able to catch some sunspots. So again, here you can see that I was looking west at 3 p.m. and again.
So where is he going with this? Why would they look at sunspots on Antarctica?
You'll see that the sunspots were still on the bottom of the sun there. Okay, you should be able to just about make it out there. All right, obviously it's just a handheld camera. It's a very ad hoc setup, but it did the job. And then after that, I filmed sunspots in the UK throughout the day. Obviously it was a slightly different time of year. But we've got a different set of sunspots. So this is 7:30 in the morning, facing east, southeast, after the sun has risen, and so you'll notice these sunspots on the bottom there. Let's say they're at about 7 o'clock. Okay, and then as we go through the day, let's quickly move forward to the next time. Okay. This is now a little bit later. This is 11:30 in the morning. Okay, the sun's come up quite high, and here we now see that the sunspots appear to have rotated around in a clockwise direction, more towards. It's more like an 8 o'clock position. Yeah, very shaky again, I'm afraid. All right, but you should just be able to see them there. So.
Yes, Andreas, it's to show that it's not the fake sun. But this is so stupid. He didn't even observe it at the same time or close in time, and as he said, it's not the same sunspots. So what is he trying to prove?
At midday, but in the UK, I think this is the final shot I was able to make. And it was very cloudy by then, but we could just about make out the sunspots. Where were they? They were about the 9 o'clock position. Okay, so those sunspots have gone from just past a 6 o'clock position to a 9 o'clock position by 1 p.m. in the afternoon. That's all I could get in by that time. So here's an illustration of what we might expect to see in a place that's north of the equator, as the sun arcs across the sky from left to right or from east to west. We've got the sunspots here in this position, but as the sun arcs across the sky, it would appear to cartwheel or rotate in a clockwise direction. Well, that's what I was able to observe anyway. And you've got to ask yourself, does this fit with the idea that the sun is essentially stationary and the Earth is spinning to make this observation happen? I mean, even if you look at these paths that the sun takes, it does look like the sun is what's moving, not the Earth. But then, if you have your globe Earth model already established and you understand how the observations work, then you should be able to make predictions depending on your location. And it doesn't have to be just one location, such as the South Pole or Antarctica. People could be collaborating to make these observations in several different locations. So, of course, what we'd have to do is let's use this black rectangle to represent how a camera might take a shot.
Oh dear. Uh, I I haven't seen the whole video. This is starting to get quite boring, but it's obvious. He represents the typical flurfs. He's desperate. It can't be a 24-hour sun was. I'm quite sure he had made that statement earlier on, but after the final experiment, we are trying to make up things. It's better that you do this observation, measuring the curvature, looking at sunspots, and so on. Why would they do that on Antarctica? As he said, watching sunspots, you can do it wherever you are in the world. And if you think it's interesting, why don't Phuket talk to a friend in UK, ask them to do it, he do it in Phuket and someone in Australia, and then try to work out what's the difference, why is it the difference. He's desperate. Team, I think I'm blocked too on his channel. Okay, I can't stand more stupidity now. Okay, back to the channel. As I mentioned many times before, it's starting to get a bit boring making content about flurfs. I will continue. At least I have to see what's happening after the final experiment. I think it will be interesting. I think the flat earth scene will be divided more than they are today. Because I think you have, I don't think that Witsit Gets It and Jared will agree that we live on a globe. I think they will working hard to make up a new story about the earth we live on. I think they will accept that the sun is moving 24 hours around, so you see it all the time in Antarctica. But I don't believe they will leave flat earth. They will try to make up a new model. But I also think that others like Banjo, that have invested so much in selling the Gleason's map, will continue with you're not allowed to go to Antarctica free and all that says that it's a 24-hour sun or liars and shills and so on. So I think there will be a crack. Yes, Bill. I think it's much fewer, and the new flurfs is not on YouTube. The new flurfs is on TikTok, and I think it's going more and more to religion. They know that they don't have any science backing the claims up. If you look at Flat Soil, for instance, in the beginning he tried with science, and now he's only talks about the Bible. Yes, Timo. But I think I don't think that the flat Earth will grow. Yes, Tusk. I haven't, Timo, I haven't looked at his LinkedIn. Perhaps I have to do that. Bill Smith, 787 Dreamliner was the first one landing and took off on Antarctica. Okay. I think you mean, is it Norwegian you mean, the airline? Okay. But as I said earlier on, I will continue making flat Earth videos for a while. But I'm thinking of looking at some other fools too. And I'm planning on making some material about leatherwork and knife makings, but I probably will place that on another channel. Because, to be honest, it's more fun to make a handbag or a knife than making videos about fools. Norse, okay. Okay, I've been online for almost an hour. I have to be at work in 30 minutes, so I will end the live stream. I will be back soon with a new video, and I think I will plan some lives and plan them in advance and invite some guests in the future, so you don't have to only listen to me mumbling. And today you haven't the opportunity to see my lovely face. Some kind of problem with the connection with the camera. But hope you enjoyed this a bit confused live stream, and hope to see you soon. And I will be back soon. Now, in the afternoon, I will go out on one of those. So, hope I don't find any Russians. Okay, that was all. Have a nice day. See you soon. Bye.